news. Tomorrow is the last day of school. U.S. Senator John Cornyn was in town today. 14 dogs still face euthanasia this Saturday, and a detailed forecast for this upcoming weekend's weather. I'm James Bellini, and this is Live. We'll get to the news in a minute, but first, here's a word from Mammoth Roofing.
I didn't know what to do. I had major hail damage, and I didn't know where to file a claim or call a roofer, and I found out about Mammoth. I chose Mammoth. They helped me through the process. They were priced right, and that's why I chose Mammoth.
Starting things off, San Angelo Live and Cano's Diamonds and Coins have teamed up for a pretty cool project. You have to tune in for tomorrow's Live Daily News for the official announcement. Tomorrow, May 31st, is the last day of school for SAISD. It will be an early release day for both teachers and students, with the elementaries letting out at 11:35, high schools and alternative campuses at 12:30, and middle schools at 12:45. Remember to be careful when schools let out if you're on the road. U.S. Senator John Cornyn was in San Angelo this morning as a special guest at Goodfellow Air Force Base. While at the base, Cornyn was briefed on classified missions and learned how Goodfellow's role as a training base for intelligence officers was rapidly evolving with hot wars in Ukraine and the Middle East. He also mentioned possible trouble brewing in Taiwan with China. Cornyn was asked how Ukraine can end the war with Russian Federation President Vladimir Putin, and if supporting Ukraine against Putin was worth the cost. Let's watch.
Well, I do see an end game, and that is Putin loses. To me, is the end game, because Putin is not going to stop with Ukraine. I know it's expensive, and people see other priorities, like the border, for example. I agree that the border should be a priority. Unfortunately, President Biden does not view it that way, and so we're going to have a presidential election, hopefully get a new president who will take that challenge seriously. But this is a part of I think what we need to do with American leadership. It'd be nice if somebody else would take up the mantle and would do the job, but frankly there's nobody else in the world who can provide the sort of leadership and provide the coalitions and alliances that are necessary to deter bad actors and to maintain the peace.
The San Angelo Live mobile app is the best in the business. Download it today on the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. It's free and keeps you up to date with news in San Angelo. 14 dogs are still on the kill list at the San Angelo Animal Shelter and have until 1 o'clock on this Saturday, to be adopted, fostered, or transferred to another facility. The shelter reached nearly 200 dogs and has a max limit of about 180. Not only that, there will be another group of 20 dogs next week that will need to be adopted or fostered, as they will be euthanized at 1 o'clock on June 8th. Into weather, there's a 20% chance of rain and thunderstorms right now, and the high is near 94. Tonight, the rain chances increase to 40% from about 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. The temperature does drop to about 67. Tomorrow, we have a 30% chance of rain in the afternoon, with a high near 90 and a low at 69. Saturday, the high will be 92, and that night, we have a pretty good chance at some heavy rainfall. Sunday, there's a 20% chance of showers, with a high of 93 and a low of 70. When we come back, Ryan Chadwick will have sports, then Jaton Giese with this Critter Shack joins Joe Hyde in the studio. But first, a word from the Bass Bunch.
Oh, hail. Yep, we got hail. But some dings and dents mean big discounts for you. We have over 700 cars and trucks at great prices, and they won't last long. Come by Jim Bass Cars and Trucks at the corner of Houston Hart at Arden Road, or shop 24/7 at bassbunch.com.
Big news out of the NFL today that will potentially affect the Dallas Cowboys top wideout, CeeDee Lamb. Miami Dolphins wide receiver Jalen Waddle just signed a 3-year, $84 million deal worth $76 million guaranteed. Lamb currently awaits his next big deal and even skipped voluntary OTAs while contract negotiations proceed. Lamb led the league in catches a season ago and finished in second in both yards and touchdowns. He will command a high price when that deal finally gets done, but as of now, the Cowboys are still without their top wideout headed into the summer. In other sports news, the world's #1 golfer Scottie Scheffler had all the criminal charges levied against him dropped on Thursday. Scheffler was charged with felony assault on a police officer and 2 other misdemeanors for what the golfer called a chaotic misunderstanding during the PGA Championships at the Valhalla Golf Club a few weeks back. Jefferson County attorney said that they will not pursue the charges, and Scheffler commented on his Instagram that he harbors no ill will and just wants to move on. And for more sports around the Concho Valley and beyond, be sure to check in every day at sanangelolive.com/news/sports.
Gross. Deep down, your rugs are dirtier than they look. Carpet Tech safely cleans all types of rugs, killing germs and removing spots and odors. Right now, get 15% off rug cleaning from Carpet Tech. Call or schedule online at carpettech.com.
If your home is in a red, call Carpet Tech, yeah.
It's hard to believe how reckless some people can be and how hard they fight against real victims. You need a partner who consistently beats the giants and who will never, ever flinch.
Well, hello, welcome back. I'm Joe Hyde, publisher of San Angelo Live. We have had a problem in the last couple of months with our shelter getting too full. I think they have a capacity of about 170 dogs, and when we get too full, they start guaranteeing that there will, if we don't adopt a dog by now or by a certain date, then we might have to kill them, right?
Yes.
So I'm with Jaton Giese, who's a volunteer in the pet rescue world.
Yes.
Cassie's Place and Critter Shack.
Yes.
Okay, so explain to me, like we have Concho Valley Paws, obviously we have the City of San Angelo Animal Shelter. How's all these different various organizations, how do they fit together?
Well, they have a variation of some of the things they do.
So each organization does
a little bit of something different. They all do adoptions,
Mm-hmm.
and I think most of them do transports.
And a transport is when you take a
upstate, Oregon, Washington, New York, even Canada. We have a group that goes to Canada, not with Critter Shack, but.
So do they just load up a couple
No,
dogs in a
there
car?
are no. Either we have a rescue that we work with there, or they're already settled on adoptions, and
Mm-hmm.
it's all set up.
And so how do they transport the
In
animals?
vans and crates. We have there's transport services.
Mm-hmm.
I know Critter Shack transports their own. We have a van that has crates in them. We have a place, another volunteer that volunteers their land that we can stop and walk and feed on the way
Mm-hmm.
there. But there's lots of volunteers that help with lots of different things.
We were talking before the show, you said the way to solve this problem that I kind of alluded to at the beginning with having to kill animals is spay and neuter.
Yes, we do adoptions, and we're at PetSmart on Saturday, on first Saturday of the month is when we're usually there.
And PetSmart is in the shopping center next to CC's Pizza.
Yes.
So if you know where CC's Pizza is, you know where PetSmart is.
Yes, yes. We do adoptions, and we also sell the spay and neuter vouchers. Now, since COVID, our adoption numbers people aren't adopting. We're full. Everybody has dogs already.
Mm-hmm.
So our adoption numbers are down, but spaying and neuter is the answer.
And so explain, you sell is it like a card or something? Or?
Yes, we have several vets that we partner with, and we sell it. It's non-income relevant, and we sell the voucher for a price to a certain vet. We have 5 vets that work with us. We'd work with more if we had more funds. They take the voucher, present it to the vet. It covers their spay-neuter surgery, paint shot, and also their vaccinations.
How much does one of these vouchers
Cats
cost?
are flat rate $45.
Okay.
And then males, of course, are a little cheaper. Dogs, they are between 60 and 75, And then females are between 75 and 95.
And that
Large female is, of course, the most
So the
expensive
larger the
one.
dog, it might cost a little bit more money. I got
Yes.
you. Okay.
And then they present that, and the vets bill us, and we use our voucher money, and then we match the funds. It's a little over $50 that we have to come up with, donations to match these funds.
So the actual cost is what, $135, and you.
I think yes, because we also I think it's 137 is the average.
So
overall.
you're subsidizing it by selling these cards.
Yes, and we are dependent on donations for that. We've asked the city to partner with us and us manage it, but that may happen. We'll see.
Well, one of the criticisms is that the city doesn't enforce its spay-neuter program enough. You always hear that.
Yes.
Of course, they're the only ones that can enforce it, right?
Right. And I've heard that they are working on something, trying to get an officer hired, and that would be great.
Wouldn't you hate to be that officer knocking on people's doors? You didn't spay or neuter your cat.
Well, I wouldn't like to do it, but I would do it if I had to. I'd gladly do it. It's like, I tell people it's like, you're made to get an inspection sticker. There are people that would drive their cars until they had blowouts and endanger all of us. Mm-hmm. That's enforcing the spay neuter is the only way that some people are going to do it.
Or like me, I drive around without a valid driver's license because I don't want to go sit in the DPS office for 4 hours.
You can do it online.
I know. I finally
did because mine was expired too. You don't go anywhere where they card you anymore. So
yeah, I had expired one for a couple of weeks. I'm like, so finally I just went online to figure out how to do it because I was thinking I don't want to sit in the DPS office. And he goes, oh, you can just pay $43 right here, and I was like, all right,
you're done. Yeah, that's why I ended up doing that this time.
So anyway, it's part of the responsibility of owning a cat to spay and neuter your dog or cat.
Yes.
And we don't have enough people doing that.
Correct, because we have limits. Because we do have to, we pay the vets the fair price, and we pay them in a timely manner, or they wouldn't do it.
And we're giving them you're giving the people, the consumer, a subsidized product.
Yes.
So when inflation's going up, you're getting a $137 value for anywhere from $65 to $85.
Yes.
Okay. Have you heard this about cats? If you let 2 cats that aren't spayed or neutered, boy and girl, and they mate and they have a litter, and then that has a litter, within 4 years, it's like 42,000 cats. Have you heard that statistic?
I haven't heard that number. I don't know. But, cats can get pregnant at 4 months old.
Wow.
So that's where the issue lies.
So if you have a kitten,
yes,
you better go take care of it quick.
Yes, quickly.
Right.
And that's the other thing is that the cats are flat rate $45. And a lot of the people are picking up the cats that are in their community and getting them spayed or neutered to clean up their neighborhoods because it is an affordable price.
Right.
So.
Right. All right. So when you transport these animals, you get to see other communities. Mm-hmm. How do we compare to other places as far as the spay and neutering acceptance?
Well, one of my sons lived in Colorado for a little while, and it's funny. Everybody has a dog there, but most people have one dog, and they take it with them everywhere they go. That's just to Colorado. The further north you go, they have spay-neuter laws that are enforced, and people don't, they're not upset about it. Mm-hmm. And they get it done, and the population's under control.
But everyone here wants to be a breeder. Do you think that's part of it?
I think many of it, most of it, a lot of it is accidental. I see posts saying, well, we've got these puppies, and there's a rehoming fee to make sure it goes to a good home. That whatever you're collecting from that one dog would have covered the cost of getting your dog spayed or neutered.
Gotcha. So they're making a little money to pay.
They are supposed to have a breeder's permit if their dog is not spayed or neutered. And that's not.
What if I have a championship golden retriever?
There are exceptions. Mm-hmm. And working cattle dogs, working dogs. If you're really working them with cattle, some of them will say for the males, especially, it'll tame their drive.
So on the adoption list right now, and they're threatening to, I guess, euthanize this poor dog. His name is Bernie. I think there's about 8 or 9 dogs that are on the list.
I think there's more.
And
yes.
my daughter keeps sending me text messages with Bernie's picture. And it's a sad thing for me because I'm at work and I have to be reminded of Bernie. And he's a cute little dog. And, if I adopt them, I think I'm not home enough to take care of a dog. I mean, seriously. I mean,
Dogs sleep a lot, though. If they're puppies, you're going to have to. I always tell people when we brief people who've never had a dog if they're looking at a puppy. Well, we tell them they're going to chew 2 years, at least. And I always tell people that the dog trains you. You don't train the dog. The dog trains you to pick up your shoes. The dog trains you to let them out on time.
Yeah, they do. I do. I used to have a dog back in the day. It was a golden retriever, and it was the coolest dog ever. But when he passed away, I've been dogless for a long time. But Bernie really upsets me, and I think the spay and neuter program would probably prevent a lot of these euthanasia calls from the animal shelter, because they seem to be getting more and more urgent as we go along. I mean, we watched the news the last 3 months.
Well, they're capped, and the city is making the shelter do that to contain their numbers.
Well, before, when they weren't containing their numbers, it got unwieldy and it got out of control, and the city became under attack or under criticism for having a dirty shelter or out of control shelter.
Yeah.
Which who knows? I mean, shelters it just seems like a terrible job to have to deal with all those
Yes,
pets.
it is. And the thing is that yes, they've remedied their problem, but the overpopulation has not changed.
And it's moved to other places.
It's just let them roam is a policy right now, and I don't think that's the answer.
Right. So we have packs of dogs running
Yes.
through. What neighborhoods have you seen them in?
I've seen various neighborhoods, not really specific. It seems like I hear about people posting, these dogs are roaming on Chadburn because it's a main street. And maybe people go slow enough so they don't get hit. I hear about dogs being hit on Houston Hart quite a bit. There are some businesses on Sherwood Way that'll pick up. I will go and scan for a microchip to see, if they're chipped. And if they are, I can help them get home. But if they're not, I'm not in a position to take the dog off their hands.
Right.
And so they're stuck with the dog because somebody didn't get their chip. There's also a microchip requirement.
How much does microchipping a dog cost? Do you know?
There's the vet. It varies. Some of them, you pay cash and it's this amount, but I think 10 or 15 is about the cheapest I've ever seen it. We've done, and this was years ago. We've done microchip clinics, and I think they were 15. I hear about.
So it's not expensive.
No.
It's like a meal at Wendy's today.
Yes, true. And we also, when we adopt, that we don't let dogs go that aren't spayed or neutered, and they're microchipped and they're vaccinated. Everything is done. And we also register the microchip, because that's something else. Somebody they'll go to the trouble of getting a microchip, then they don't register it.
All right, so
so it's useless, really.
So
if it's not registered.
You've been doing this for what, 8 years?
Yes.
Here? So you've been a volunteer, kind of in the pet world.
Yes.
What did you do before, and how did you get into this?
Well,
what drives your passion?
I found a pregnant stray. Pit mix.
Pit mix.
Yeah. And
just like all dogs here.
Yeah, and I fostered her, and she had 7. We adopted out 4, transported 1, and I have 2 still from them. And they're sisters.
So you have 3 dogs now?
No, I have more than that.
You have more than 3
yes,
dogs?
I'm under city limit and everything, but yes, I have more than 3. And that's the thing, is that we get, Cassie has a facility, and Critter Shack is a foster-based program, which means we don't just we have to have a foster to take a dog.
Right.
And a lot of people are foster fails, and then you lose your foster because they get too many, and that's what happens.
So if someone starts adopting or temporarily taking care of a dog, and then they take on too many?
Sometimes, or they fall in love with the dog and they keep it.
And then they're no longer. Do you call it a foster fail when they fall in love with the dog?
It's really not a fail because the dog found a good home.
Right.
But it's fostering is a good thing for somebody that may not be permanent here. If you've got a good you have to have a secured fenced yard. We like to adopt people that let their dogs in, especially like, something like weather we had last week.
Right.
You can't really leave them out.
All right, so it's Critter Shack that hangs out at the PetSmart.
Yes, we sell our vouchers the first Saturday of the month.
Okay.
And we average about $175.
So that's coming up this Saturday, the
Yes.
1st of June.
Yes.
And what hours are you there?
We start at 9:30, and when if you've ever been into PetSmart, we sell there right between the fish and the cat room.
Okay.
And
Inside.
The line, yes. And the line goes all the way down the back to the back, all the way across the back, and up back the other side.
Do you have a line there? Is it crowded?
Yes.
How long does it take to get through the line?
At noon, we're still selling vouchers, and that doesn't mean somebody that got there at 9:30 is still there at noon. But we have
15 minutes to get through the line, maybe.
No, it's longer, and people gather there before 9:30, and get in line early. Some people wait until 11, and we have one or two of the vets that limit their numbers that they sell, and so if you wait, you didn't have to stand in line, but you can't get into those vets.
I see.
So they have a limit because it's manpower. They can't. They've agreed to take this many, and
So
that's
the best
how many we sell
selection early, the shorter wait later.
Yes.
That's kind of what
Yes.
you're saying. Okay. Twitter Shack at PetSmart over there by Best Buy, CC's Pizza. That's where that is.
Yes,
That
and
whole shopping complex.
it's sponsored by Critter Shack and Cassie's Place Rescue.
Okay.
And we do it since we're there for adoptions. Critter Shack more or less manages it, and does the.
Do you have dogs there?
Yes, adoptions out. Yeah, we have adoptions, and then we're usually out front of PetSmart, and then we have a cat room that's inside. If it's severe weather, we are in their little foyer,
Right.
in between the two doors, which is crowded and
So
loud.
you can shop for a dog. And,
Yes.
And also, if you have a dog, you can get the spay or neuter card.
No, well, all of our pets are already spayed or neuter.
But if you have a dog at home that's not, you can get that card.
Yes.
And it really is. A lot of people go there, so it's popular.
Yes, it
All right.
is.
And if you spay and neuter your dog or cat, prevents Bernie from being on the auction block.
Yes.
Or whatever the block it is. It's not really
Yes.
an auction block. It's just,
Well, it's a
James, show Bernie again. Oh, poor dog. But anyway, Jaton, thank you very much for coming on our show.
Sure.
With Critter Shack and Cassie's Place.
Yes.
Every first Saturday every month, PetSmart, 9:30 a.m. till I guess you're out.
Yes, because we start doing adoptions after that, and so we're trying to wrap up by noon. But if somebody comes in and wants a voucher, we're not going to not sell it to them.
Right.
And we are limited to one per household per month.
Okay.
That's just because we have to come up with the funds to reimburse that.
And you can donate there too, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and that's our only limit, because we have other vets that would sign on with us to do this program, and we would sell more to some if we have to have the funds to pay our vets to the other half of the voucher price.
Well, thank you so much for being on our show
Sure,
today.
thank you for having me.
Back to the studio.
When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Cano's Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Cano's Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Cano stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Cano's at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo.
Thanks for watching the Live Daily News Show, the only locally owned news show in the Concho Valley. Go like us on Facebook, X, and other social media platforms, and download the San Angelo Live mobile app to stay up to date with all the news from in and around the Concho Valley. Tune in tomorrow for ours and Cano's Diamonds and Coins' big announcement. Thanks again, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.